the kneeling during the national anthem is in no way trying to say people don't like living in this country, because there are worse places that you can live. So no one is saying that. People are not saying that they don't respect the military, because the military, the police, and any other I almost said social, the Secret Service, whatever it is that is out there, MIB, the group that nobody knows about, that's out there protecting our freedom. No one has made any comments about them, because let's be honest, we all know without them, stuff that I'm doing, like this show, stuff that everybody else is doing in their life, is not possible without them. So you would be crazy to disrespect that. This is not what it is. Now, what has happened is, again, as usual, someone wants to take a situation and they want to twist it, turn it, and mold it into an agenda for themselves. And that's not what it is. It's about people abusing their authority at the end of the day. People abusing their authority. That is what the protest is about. Now, players are kneeling during the anthem. And now, and the reason I bring this up now, I'm going to Jerry Jones and this whole thing about the flag, because he is out saying basically if you kneel, for the flag and you don't stand, you're not going to play. That's what he's getting at, is that you got to respect that flag. Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, Jerry Jones owns the Cowboys. So he can put things in place as far as like how he wants his employees to operate at work, but telling someone that they cannot kneel and they won't play, that's where you stepped over the line. Because one, until Kaepernick did it, the only time I really ever saw the national anthem in basketball was during the NBA final. Now, I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, please someone, update me. But the Super Bowl, never saw it on TV. Never saw it on TV. So if someone did something, if someone ran on the field, if someone was breakdancing, all that stuff, we never saw it. I've seen people all over the place, not standing, not saluting, or not being quiet, not, paying respect. Because if you're going to say respect, it's a lot of things. I've seen people on their phones during the national anthem. I've seen people have conversations during the national anthem. If you're going to say disrespectful, then you got to go with everything. And now they're trying to put it all on these athletes, and make it seem like they're pushing some other agenda. You totally got away from, what it's about. So Jerry Jones is saying, hey, if you're not standing, you probably won't be playing. Totally off base, with that. And the one thing, and I'm not going to say he hasn't done this or anything, because I don't know. But if he hasn't, the one thing that you need to do, which I honestly do think he has, but you need to really understand what this is about, where it's going, and how it indirectly impacts you. Because it'll never directly impact Jerry Jones. He's never going to have a situation, for the most part, unless it's just some rogue person, that just is really after him. But he's never going to have the total image, on it. But to understand it, how it indirectly affects him, because it affects his players, which are his employees. It affects their performance at work. It affects their home environment, which in turn affects their performance at work. Not only just the players. You got your sales team, your marketing team. You got people that work around the corporate offices, human resource. I mean, you got people all over that this can affect when they come in to work. So you got to take it, you just can't look at it as you're just doing what you're doing. I told you not to do it, so you better do it. Because nowhere in the guidelines with what the NFL is talking about, they said you should stand. Never said that you have to. Never said it's a requirement. Never said you will be punished if you don't. It says you should. But it does say you could be. But I think they leave that more for if you're doing something that's really probably disrespectful. You know? So I think Jerry Jones needs to just fall back just a little bit. Take this, and I don't know who he sat down with, but to me, who I think he really needs to sit down with is Anquan Boldin. Anquan Boldin, Malcolm Jenkins, guys who are respected in this league and respected are as men, but haven't played for the Cowboys. Don't have any association with the Cowboys or Jerry Jones or anything like that. Who's not going to mind talking to him and maybe just saying, look, let me put it to you this way, or let me have you understand it this way. And I think, things would change. I think his mindset would change. Now, and again, I've already said he doesn't have to still like it or anything like that. But just as much as you want someone to respect your end, you have to figure out where they're coming from and give them some respect on that end. We saw that with Colin Kaepernick. Saw that, he had talks. They worked it out. Good to go. So, Jerry Jones, just relax, man. Let's talk about what it's really about. Because really no one hasn't talked about what this is really about people abusing their authority. They made it about the flag, but when they want to make it about the flag, you never bring up abusing authority. You have to bring that up. Have to. And Jerry Jones is going to say, 3 weeks ago when he was kneeling and everything with the players, now he did that before the anthem, started playing, he kind of thought, this thing would go away. Jerry, that's just crazy to think that that just doesn't go away. People who abuse their power is not going to say, oh, look, the football players and the owners and the coaches, they all kneeled and now it's solid and we're scared now. We're worried. You know what? Maybe we should just change, the way, we did things. No, it's not going to happen. You have to keep pushing. I say this all. You got to keep pushing forward. You got to keep talking about it. You got to keep discussing it with people. Everyone can play a certain role. And that's the other thing. And I'll get off this is that everyone is not built the same way. So you can't expect someone to push that agenda the same way. You do. It is nice if you can get them just to acknowledge it. That helps. But everyone is built different. So if someone doesn't do it the way that you want, it doesn't help by trying to call that person out or say that person is this or say that they're that or whatever. But that doesn't do anything. So Jerry Jones, please, I hope, you get to talk with the right people, whoever it is, and you feel a little bit different about it. Like I said, he still can have his opinion and how he feels about it. He's entitled to that. That's his right to. So he doesn't have to just change and then conform to what they're saying. But I think the biggest thing is just to respect it and acknowledge it, and not be like, yo, I'm going to get you out of here. And after what Aaron Rodgers did to y'all, you need all the help you can get. You don't need to be getting rid of nobody at this point. You need to bring some folks in. So we'll get off that and we'll move into Jemele Hill is. I really thought about whether or not I was going to talk about this, but someone, say, you know what, man, you really need to talk about it. So I'll speak on it here. So we all know Jemele Hill, employee of ESPN, journalist, reporter, hip hop aficionado. I mean, she's everything, comedian, all that stuff, Very talented, young lady. She got suspended 2 weeks from ESPN for comments that she made, about Jerry Jones and the whole thing, relating around Trump too, because that was the first thing that kind of set it off, was her comments on Twitter. And so they gave her a little bit of a break. Now, what is this really about? That's what I really thought about. And there's layers, to this whole thing. And this is just my opinion, on it. There's layers to this. There's the obvious layer, where she's speaking her mind, which she has every right to. Her employer is saying, but we have these guidelines with social media because you're an employee. You got to be able to, adhere to these guidelines, to this policy, to these rules. We got to put them in place, and all this stuff. But what to me, again, this is just my personal opinion, is that what I really think this is about, the comments that she made, that plays a part. But I think the ultimate thing is that Jemele Hill is, in the world of news and everything, as far as, where she's at right now, she hasn't stopped. She hasn't stopped. She's slowly, not slowly, but she's climbing that status bar. Stuff that she did with the president back when Obama was in office. She's, always out speaking. She's positive, she's started off on a show that people thought that, when I'm talking about a show, His and Hers, she started off there where, they were like, oh, this will be here, no, now her and Michael Smith is running the 6 p.m. slot, the major slot on ESPN. So she's a big time person. And I think what this is that with any company, they don't want you to gain all the power. They don't want you to gain a majority of the power. They still want to let you know who's boss. And it doesn't matter who it is. So I'm not going to make this a racial thing, because I don't even think it's that, because other employees of ESPN that are not black has had trouble or problems with ESPN. So it's not about that. I just think that she's in a position, and her lane, as LeVar Ball would say, her lane, she riding in the carpool lane. She not sitting in traffic. And I truly believe that has something to do with it. She has a voice. She is influential in what she says. People listen. And words that come out of her mouth ain't just stuff that she just throws out there. She actually thinks about what she says before she say it. Majority of the time. I mean, we all, sometimes talk crazy, but she's just not throwing stuff out there to see what sticks. And I think that maybe worries the company a little bit, because they don't want that challenge, So with that, layered with money, let's just be real, because if people start pulling out advertisers or whatever, that's the biggest thing, is money. And then it's her, hey, I'm going to speak up when I see something wrong. I'm not going to hold my tongue, and I'm not going to be, apologetic about it. Sometimes people have a problem with that. So that's why I said I think it's layers to this thing. It's layers. But 2 weeks, she'll be back. I don't think, much will change. The only real thing I think is that maybe, she'll kind of just chill out a little bit, with some of the comments on Twitter, because she's on Twitter, a lot. And she doesn't back down from anybody. But to me, I believe with her